How are you doing? I am here with my friend Jonathan Tilley from ZonGuru, and we're going to talk about how your competitor is beating you and what you can do about it.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, John promises to give us all the deets on how we can spy on our competitors' listings and what they're ranking for, and how we can identify those things that we're not ranking for. And, of course, you guys know when John shows us something, you can always count on me to ask all the questions. But of course, I want to hear from you guys as well. We want to hear from you guys, so make sure you say hello. I know this stream is a little bit late. I had a little bit of an off day today, so we're a little bit late, but we're still going to make it happen. So yes, let's get into it, John. First of all, for those people who don't know you, which I think that's like impossible because you're like everywhere, but tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, hopefully your day gets better now that we're diving into data like we should be. Yeah, so I'm John. I'm based in Los Angeles. Currently in my garage, obviously. Just today though, and actually I just came back from a couple of days at the beach, so I have I think I still have salt in my ears from surfing this morning. Anyway, I'm based in Los Angeles. I co-founded and started ZonGuru back in 2016. And I started off in the typical style. I was in advertising for many years, and the light bulb went off when I ran into Amazon and created a few brands that I sell on Amazon. I still have a few brands that I sell today. So that was my start in understanding conceptually what Amazon was going to be doing in e-commerce over the next few years. I believed there was a good opportunity to get in on the data side, on software side, and I think my philosophy at the time was, it's kind of an advertising saying, which is GIGO, GIGO, which is garbage in, garbage out, right? And if you get bad information, you're going to make bad decisions. And so my intent with ZonGuru was to change that and to make sure that we give you the right, relevant, accurate data at the right time, so that you can make the best business decision for your business. And that's always been our kind of mantra and philosophy. And I think from a ZonGuru perspective, we try and give you all of that relevant right data, but visualized in the right way, so that it's a really efficient, easy way for you to make a decision for your business. So, that's us. We have about 17 different tools now, and we're integrated with North America, Europe, Australia, and India is the latest market that we've integrated with. So, we're a verified partner of Amazon, and that's us. So yeah, I think what's interesting about today, we obviously have 17 tools. I'm not going to show you all of those. But I think, especially going into Q4, it's all about context, right? So how is my business doing? But how is my business doing in context to my competitors? What are my competitors doing that I'm not doing? You can't look at just your own listing or your own sales. That doesn't give you, if your sales are going up, you don't know, was that you? Was that the niche? Was it the industry? Was it Amazon? Why did you actually make more sales? So, what the best place to start with that is obviously, from a competitive standpoint, am I putting my best foot forward? Am I focusing on the right keywords? Am I doing it in a way that can beat my competitors? How should I optimize my listing, so that I can really hone in on the right relevant keywords that I can win that my competitors can't. So those are the kind of things that we think through whenever we build tools. And the ones I want to show you today is Listing Optimizer, starting with that one, and then Keywords on Fire, which is the kind of like the engine behind the optimization.
And
I want to show you a few of those things.
I think it's so interesting because I've had ZonGuru for a while now, and my favorite part, I have my favorite parts of all the tools, and it's interesting because I haven't dug into your listing optimization tools yet. And John, that I'm a total listing optimization nerd. And so I can't wait to dig in today and get after this stuff. Because, you guys all know, if you follow me at all, that just changing one word in your title can make all the difference in the world. I've seen people take go from page 3 to page 1 with one keyword phrase different in their title. But if you don't know which keywords to target, you're stuck. Like John was saying, garbage in, garbage out. One of my favorite parts of your tool, though, which I know we're not going to get into today, but you guys do really great job at financial reporting. I love you guys send this amazing little summary at the end of every month, or you can set it up to come whenever you'd like it to come. But it's like this beautiful little PDF of financials of my business, and it shows me like what my profits were, what my advertising costs were, what my business is valued at right now. I love that number. That's my favorite, like in the bottom corner of the report. That's my favorite thing that ZonGuru gives me, because it's just like this neat tool. And I think that your numbers are so important to know, and they're so important to keep a gauge on. And I love that you guys also, take out advertising, and you're really giving us a good idea of what our profitability is. So that's one of my favorite things in ZonGuru. And so we can dig into that later. We'll do that on another cool tool review for Tuesday. But for today, I'm excited that we're getting into listing optimization. And if you guys like today, you have to come see me and John, because we're going to be in Austin on October 15th, Friday, October 15th. We have seller meetup. So we've got a marketing mastery seller meetup. And so of course, we're focused on marketing during Q4, but we're also just focused on, those little things that move the needle for your business, right? So we're going to have a listing optimization panel. We're going to do PPC, of course, but we're also focused on a bunch of off of Amazon stuff. So we're going to talk about other sales channels you can explore. We're going to talk about other marketing channels you can explore. We're going to have influencers come and talk to us about how do you work with influencers during the holidays. We're going to talk about content marketing, which is one of my favorite things to do. So lots of cool stuff. So if you come join us in Austin on October 15th, John and I are headed up the listing optimization panel, and we're going to be getting into the specifics, the very specifics of the things that you need to do. And the format of this event is very much like workshop-like, where we're doing a lot of networking. We're getting into it. There's only 100 people able to come to this event. So you guys definitely check that out. Go to sellermeetup.com and join John and I and a whole bunch of other speakers who are going to be there. And we're just going, and people as well who are going to be there. And we're just going to get into it. And our goal is for you guys to leave marketing mastery with an actual marketing plan for your business for Q4 and beyond, getting into Q1, Q2, leave with some actionable tips that will really, really help you get into the listings and stuff like that. But for today, let's dig in to John's tool and let's check this out, because I'm so excited to figure out how you use your tool to spy on competitor listings. Let's do it. That'd be amazing.
All right, cool. Yeah. I've obviously seen the panel that you've got together for Seller Meetup, and it's pretty inspiring. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, let me jump in. And again, as we go, Amy, just ask questions. Again, the tools that I'm gonna be showing you, obviously, there's these kind of tools are out in the space that competitors have, right? So most likely everyone on this call is going to be quite familiar with the types of tools. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on every single thing, but I'm going to call out the key specifics that I think would be interesting to you from that theme, which is competitors and context, right? And what do we do at that level to give you insight into that. So let me share my screen. All right. Good.
All right. So I will hit the show on stream button and we see your screen now, John.
Okay, cool. So this is ZonGuru. This is a demo account. This is the dashboard that Amy, you were talking about. But
so
on the
pretty.
Watch the space, because we're doing a whole bunch of stuff on the reporting and the dashboard side in the future. So it's gonna be cool. These are all the tools, but which is basically 4 areas: product research. There's a whole bunch of tools: listing optimization, business metrics, monitoring and alerts, customer engagement. So we have different tools under each of these sections. The one that I want to show you today is actually going to be under the listing optimization section, which is going to be basically listing optimizer and keywords on fire. And I want to just do this in context again of competitors. So I'll show you a product that I just picked out before this session. If we have time at the end, I'll show you how I found this product as a niche, which is basically a rustic corner shelf, right? Probably a decent product to sell. It's a decent niche. Obviously, it can flat pack. It's very specific. So for something like Amazon.com, it's kind of a specific target audience, which is what you need, like a micro niche, right? So these are the products. And the core goal that we're trying to solve here is like, if I have one of these products, how do I maximize the potential optimization of my listing for keywords? But how do I do that in context with beating the best sellers in the on page one, right? Because we're always competing with page one. So here's all of them. Basically, what I did is I picked out, we've got a Chrome extension. I'll just open that up. This is our Chrome extension. There's a whole bunch of general. We have a great way of validating a niche. I'm not going to get into that today, but we have a niche validation. This is 57%, which is okay. We have our average numbers across the top. But what I'm looking for when I look down, we have something interesting here, which is, if you can see this, Amy, it's like the number 1 over here.
Yeah.
Down here, there's a number. There should be a number 2. Here's a number 2, and here's a number 3, right?
Yep.
Those, obviously you can look at sales, right? And you can look at, the general sales that a product is making. Sorry, let me just, something's gone strange. Hold on one second. What I can look at is sales, right? Or revenue. And I can say, okay, these are ones that are making the most revenue. But what's even more interesting to me is this number 1, 2, and 3, which we get from brand analytics. So these are the ones that get the most clicks and conversions out of this month over all of the other products on page 1, right? So that's interesting to me, because are they getting the most clicks because of price, because of their visual, because of their listing?
Right, because they don't have the most revenue on the page, but they are getting the most clicks, which is for that particular keyword, which is rustic corner shelf. So that's really important to note, because we can look at their design, we can, like you said, their price,
right?
Exactly. We can see what's attracting customers to them.
Exactly. So, this guy at the moment is getting the most clicks and conversions on that keyword. And then, there's a few down here, number 2 and 3, right? These guys over here. But yeah, they might be also up and coming. So they might not have the most sales at the moment, but they've got to page 1 and they're still getting all of these clicks. So it's an important piece of business intelligence to look at. So what I did is I just made up a theoretical thing of saying, okay, how do I beat the ones that have the most clicks and conversions right now from an optimization perspective? So I took those 1, 2, and 3, and then I picked my brand, which I'm just making up right now. I think I just went down the page and I grabbed somewhere down here. He is, where is he? This guy, Hombazar, right? He's doing 16 grand in revenue, but he's on page 1. So I just said, hey, if that's my brand, can I compare the listing optimization of those other 3 main competitors versus mine and see what are they focusing on and how do I beat them, and can I do that all in one view on a tool? And I'm going to show you how we do that with the listing optimizer, because that's when we developed a listing optimizer. I was like, it's all good to like optimize my listing for keywords, but how can I do that in comparison with my top 8 competitors, at least top 8, right? How do I know what they're doing? How do we beat them, right? So you can always do things in context. We were the first to kind of come out with that in the space. I think a few have jumped on board.
I like how you also show which competitors have EBC and which don't. That's like an easy way for you to see if they're brand registered, it's really good. And then you also show another important note for listing optimization and for beating your competitors is you show when it was created. So when that product was launched. A lot of times, we just assume that we can beat a product just by, for example, copying the listing. We don't want to copy the listing, but, using those same keywords and things like that. And if it was created a long time ago, that's something that we need to take into consideration, right? Versus us being a brand new launch. If we're looking for that number 1 closest competitor, we might want to look for one that's doing well, but launched more recently, and then also utilize the data from one that's a little bit older and is doing well, right?
100%. And actually, yeah, it's a good point. Like in our niche rating that we have here, we have competition opportunity. Right now, it's 42%. So what it's saying is that 1% means there's no competition opportunity. You can't really get in. 42% is kind of in the middle, right? Which is saying it's a pretty competitive niche. And what factors into that are things that you're saying. It's kind of like, how seasoned are the listings? When were they created? What's the average ratings? What's the actual listing score, which factors in EBC? How many trademarks are in there? We've got a listing score here out of 10. And this is a really good number. There's a lot that goes into that in terms of a score out of 10. Like, do I have EBC trademarks? Am I using all my images? Have I got high ratings, reviews? All of those things factor in. So it's a really important point. And there's a lot of data here that can help you just to assess the competitiveness of the niche. But just looking at the score here will give you some insights into that. Anyway, so let's say, okay, this is the theoretical picture, which is like, okay, I've gone in here and simply this is our listing optimizer tool, right? And I've deleted most of it out. I'm going to add stuff in now just to show you how it works. But at a high level, what you can do is at the top here, you can click plus and you can add any ASIN. You can just copy the ASIN from the Chrome extension, paste it in here. And then you can add up to 8 competitors in this listing comparison, right? So as you add them, what it does, and you can add, this is obviously for the US, but you can add any marketplace. What it does is it adds it to this view, and then it pulls in, obviously the title, the bullets. You can see this is the guy who had the most clicks and conversions, Tribe Designs, right? You can see it's pulled in his title, all of his bullets, his description. And then what's really interesting, which I don't think any other tool does, is we put in the backend search terms as well. So you can see, what does this guy actually put into his backend search terms? Is he using brands? What is he putting in there that's different or unique? So we can do that for up to 8 competitors.
I know that 8 competitors, that's really cool. And I know that that's something that people are always asking me, something people always want to know, especially if a listing doesn't have a lot of words in it. So it's got really short bullet points. It doesn't seemingly have a lot of keywords. People are always wondering, like, what do they have in their back end listing? Because, somehow they're ranking. A lot of times it's external traffic that they're using to rank or stuff like that, other techniques. But it is cool that you include that. I think I've only seen it on one other tool.
Yeah. I know a few are trying to find out how to do it, but I think we've had it for over a year now. The interesting thing about this is what I typically see, especially for the US market, is a lot of listings don't optimize for Spanish words, right? And honestly, when you look at the volume, and I'll probably show you that in a second, I don't know if this category will have it, but you do get a lot of Spanish buyer phrases that people type into Amazon to find products. And typically a good place to put that would be either obviously in your description or your backend search terms, mostly backend search terms. So that's something you can really
your more details tab. In your more details tab in your listing, there's some really great places as well that index that you can add Spanish. So Royal is watching from the Philippines. Hey Royal, what's up? And I just want to say hi to Christina, Tim, and Jocelyn. But Royal has a question for us. He says, can you use ZonGuru in different countries, or is there only one country that you can use it?
Yeah, so you can use it in all those 4 key marketplaces, which is Amazon North America, which is Canada, Canada, US, Mexico, and I think it's Brazil that's in there now. And then you can use it for all of the European countries. You can use it for Australia, and you can use it for India. So if you want to research products, or if you sell in those marketplaces, you can connect with ZonGuru and you can start to get the data. So we're fully integrated with those marketplaces, with the right kind of API data. So you're getting actual data from those marketplaces when you look at it, which is pretty cool. I've just done a whole breakdown of the opportunity around some of these emerging marketplaces like Australia, India, some of the European countries like Italy, France. And the high level on that is that they are very viable now as marketplaces. You can make a lot of money there, and it's almost like going back to Amazon USA in 2016 in terms of the competition aspect. So it's a lot easier to get into bigger niches. You don't have to have as much capital up front, and you can exponentially grow that over the next few years. So just a side note there, but we're seeing a lot of interesting data on some of those emerging marketplaces.
Love it. All right, cool. So now we've got some competitors in here from our stool that we found earlier, and we can see when you put those ASINs into your tool, up to 8 different ASINs, we can see that we can click inside of each tab there, and we can view not only their title and their bullet points, but also their back-end search terms, which is very cool. And now what's next? How do we actually take the data from all these listings at once and utilize it in our own listing?
Yeah, so what I've done is run, so I'm going to import the keywords, right? And so right now, I'm just going to take the best keywords for this niche of rustic corner shelf. And again, the engine that's driving this is Keywords on Fire. I'm going to show you how we actually come up with Keywords on Fire and the data in a second. But for the purpose of Listing Optimizer, I'm just going to pull these in just to show you what we're trying to do on the end result, right? Which is, so what I'm doing is loading these keywords now. And what the tool is doing is it is giving you an optimization score. You can see it over here, optimization score, of how well these listings are optimized for the keywords that you've added, right? So the concept is you've added in the best relevant, converting, high search volume, demand, mid search volume, whatever you're looking for in terms of those keywords, you've loaded them to this tool. And now it's giving an optimization score to each of these competitors and showing you how well they optimize for the set of keywords. And the way it does it is it kind of at that conceptual level will look at both exact and broad match, right? Keywords that you place in terms of relevancy and search volume on your title, your bullets, your backend keywords, and your description, right? So depending on where you add that, obviously Amazon's algorithm will give you more significant ranking if some of your better keywords convert in a better position in your listing. So the idea is to check on your listing and see how well are you optimized and then compare it to your competitors. So for example, if I look at just at a very high level, if you look at Tribe Designs, Visical, Oakley, and then my brand, right, you can see this has got a score of 14,000, 9,000, 9,000, and 8,000. So my listing theoretically right now is the worst optimized out of all of these, and Tribe Design, which got the most clicks conversions, has the best, right? So don't necessarily worry too much about the 14,000, but understand how far along this axis are they optimized. And I'm actually pretty surprised in this category they're not actually that well optimized. So therein lies an opportunity. Typically, the top brands are around like the top 10% or something like that, right? So now to figure out how are they optimized, I can look on this side and see these are the keywords. This is the actual search volume of those keywords. So which are the higher volume or the mid volume? This is a score that we give it, which is based on relevancy and search volume and competition. So 100 means it's a really good keyword you should add to your listing. How many of those competitors out of the top actually have that keyword in their listing? And then where is it included in the listing? Is it in the just somewhere in the listing as a broad match or an exact match in the title, or just somewhere in the title as a broad match, right? So those are how we look at these listings. And so, we can see this guy, he's got a few exact match in his title. This guy over here doesn't really have all of them. This guy has a few. And then if this was my listing, I have even less. So my objective right now is you can go as far as you want on the analysis here, but my objective is to understand, hey, where are my competitors focusing in their titles and their bullets in terms of keywords? What relevant keywords are they actually missing, which I can actually add to my listing and really dominate on? And then secondarily, once I've done that, could I pick out some of these keywords that I could actually put in a PPC campaign and drive for quality score, drive some of those keywords to my listing, which I'm now optimized for and my competitors aren't.
So John, just so I understand, when I see the stars, so on this listing that we have, that's an exact match in the title. Now, what about the hollow star? That's a little bit down there. Yeah, that's just broad match in title.
A broad match in title, right? So, I think that the key things with titles, right, is not to overstuff them for sure. Exact match where you can, but broad match is pretty decent, right? So,
right. I always pick the most relevant terms. I pick those and try to keep them intact as an exact match, right? Like that's that medium tail keyword that contains a seed keyword that I really want to rank for eventually. I want that to be intact in my title, and then additional kind of build on keywords such as like organic or like descriptor keywords. Then it's okay for me to do broad match and I don't repeat the keyword. And that's what a lot of people, they think they have to repeat the keyword, and you're missing out on that precious space. So, pick your most important. And if you're using a tool like this, now that I see, you know, what's going on here, if I were using this tool, what I would do is I would look for my top competitors. And it's really interesting because Jeff says, you know, how are we picking the top 8 competitors to analyze? And let's get into that in a second. But if I were picking the keywords for my title, I would look at the top competitors, and as well as my closest competitor, and I would see what both the opportunity is for that keyword for me on page 1, right, of that keyword. I would look for the opportunity. So first I would use OnGuru to look at what these competitors have in their title, click through, see where the stars are, you know, okay, cool. And then I would actually go on Amazon and search those keywords and look on the front end and see, okay, what is here and where is there the best opportunity for me? Because that's what I've done with clients who are kind of falling down in the ranks. If I see an opportunity for them in a medium tail keyword and their competitors are not taking advantage of that, we'll put that exact match in their title. And sometimes that alone, I've seen it triple someone's sales because it'll bring them organically up to page 1 for that keyword. So, you know, it's the same thing as kind of taking a look at each of these competitors and seeing what they're doing and not necessarily copying it. You do want to copy some of it, but you also want to keep it in mind and look at it like you're trying to fit in like a puzzle piece, right? Like how can you get in, what is your best opportunity to get in front of that customer? And then, you know, are there keywords that your competitors are using in their bullet points that they might not be optimizing in their title? And is there a page there where if you put that exact match in your title, there would be an opportunity for you to get above them and get more of the click share because of your increased organic placement. That's how I would use it.
That's exactly right. So what I'm going to show you, you don't actually have to go on Amazon. Keywords on Fire does that for you. So I'm going to show you how we got this list of keywords. And more importantly, to your point, is like what is the right seed keyword that I should be owning in my title or the few keywords versus my competitors. So I'm going to show you that in Keywords on Fire in a second. And what's cool in Keywords on Fire is like you can also save like 3 or 4 different views in that. So you could say, hey, these are my main search volume driver keywords. Here's my opportunistic keywords versus my competitor. You can save them in different views. And then when you build the listing, you can actually add the main ones first and make sure you got them. Then you can delete those out and then add in the opportunistic keywords and optimize. So you can take all those views and make sure you build your listing in the right way so that one, you have all the main search driver, high volume keywords that are relevant for your listing. But 2, you have actually looked at that view of like, what are the keywords that I can beat my competitors on? And I've actually loaded that into my listing as well. So I'm going to show you that in a second.
Before we get there, let's address Jeff's question. He wants to know, how are you picking the up to 8 competitors to analyze? I'm going to let you take that first. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you might have missed the beginning a little bit, but I think, what I did here is I just took the actual ones that are getting the most clicks and conversions as from brand analytics, right? So this guy, that's how we picked the 3. The 4th one is obviously me, and you can add some others there. So I would choose maybe ones that have Amazon choice or maybe have the highest sales or have been the most seasoned or have the highest ratings. Whoever you think are your main competitors, just go over here and you can just literally copy, you click this, it just copies the ASIN, and then you can just go over, into the tool, and you can just go plus, and then you go, hey, cool, and I can just add it right here, and then it'll just put in whoever that was that I just put in as my 4th one is coming in right now, right? So
yeah, and what I love, I actually use brand analytics to pick my competitors. First I start on Google and I study the market from keywords everywhere, and I see what the greater market is calling it, since 60% of Amazon's external traffic comes from search. I want to know what the external market is calling it outside of Amazon. So that's my personal way to do it. But then I go on Amazon and I put those same keywords in and I start looking at what's suggested, because before we even pull competitors, we need to make sure that we're starting with the right keyword. We need to make sure that we're calling that product that we're writing a listing for, whatever it is that customers are going to call it. And then we need to make sure that we're using the best keyword before we pull competitors. So you guys make sure that you're focused on not only your market research, what customers outside of Amazon call it, but then take that on Amazon, look at the suggested terms, and I'm sure we're going to see some of this stuff in Keywords on Fire as well. But it's so important to understand what keywords are key for your competitors. Now, let's say that we're on a different page and we find 8 different competitors because we've got the Chrome extension or we're using brand analytics. What's so cool, if you missed it, John said his Chrome extension actually includes brand analytics data right in there for you, which is great. So you can use it right on the page. Awesome. I'm definitely going to use that. I've had this tool at my disposal the whole time and haven't used it, so I'm going to be using it more often now. But that's what you guys want to do. You want to make sure you're on the right keyword. Now, after you copy in your up to 8 competitors, I just like to pick like the top 3 or 4, because otherwise sometimes the data can get overwhelming. But you pick your top 3 or 4 and you look through here and now you see, okay, oh, wait, wow, all 4 of my competitors have this keyword in their title. Maybe I missed my main keyword. Maybe I need to go back and discover what are the top competitors on that page. Chances are you're going to see the same competitors, but it might be an interesting result differently. So make sure you guys are taking your time to discover what your main keyword is before you start pulling your competitors, and don't get locked into that main keyword before you really look at the data and then maybe revisit those competitors again, because you might just find a gem in there.
Yeah, and I think 100% right on all of that. I think at the end of the day, when you do your listing optimization, you want it to make sense. Your copy has to obviously convert, but you want to get as many potential keywords into your listing as possible so that you maximize your reach, right, from an SEO perspective. And then you have that additional filter on top of it, which is like, hey, what are the core seed keywords or keywords that I can win over my competitors? What are those, and where can I put them on my listing to help drive a quality score when I start driving PPC traffic to that? But that's how I look at it holistically. Let me show you how I would optimize this for a second. Then we're going to jump to the keywords, which I think is the part which is going to show you how we come up with like, hey, what are the right keywords to focus on in this listing, right? So I'm doing this a little bit in reverse, but I wanted to make sure we kind of showed the objective of what we're trying to get to. So if I was this guy, Hombazar, right? Sorry, I don't know how to say that, but if I was this guy and I'm like, hey, I'm not optimized, and I want to make sure that I can get some of the best keywords with the best score that are relevant for my brand into my listing. What gives me a good indicator here is you can see these words like floating, tall, book. They're all highlighted in a darker green. That means that deduped, they are keywords that are missing from your listing, and you can add them either into your title, your bullets, description, and you'll start to get either an exact or broad match. So it's a very easy way for you to see, hey, what are the keywords that I'm missing that if I add, I can get some of those, those broad match and exact match, into my listing. So for example, if I said here, this guy hasn't written his listing great, and I'm not going to go and write a perfect listing, but if I added the words like floating over here, because they're floating, I added the word book because he doesn't have book in there, like bookcase maybe. I added the word stand over here, which are all relevant for this brand. And then I maybe add the word wood, right? But obviously I wouldn't put them at the end of the listing. I'd build that in so that the listing made sense. But I'm just showing you for case in point. And I hit, you can see already just by adding those words, it kind of did it automatically. You can see my optimization score has already started to pop up to, what the top guy was, the 14,000, right? So I can see I'm already starting to get high on. And so the theory here is like going through the listing, picking the keywords that really make sense for your brand or for your product, and you start to add them into your listing and you optimize for it. So that's how you get your score up right at the end. You can also, basically just select all of them and just say, if I just select all right here, and I just go add to search terms, this is going to add all of the deduped keywords to my backend search terms. So if I've optimized everything for what I want and I want to pick up a little of those few words that I need to add in my backend search terms, I can just add it all in one go, add it straight away. And you can see now all of a sudden I'm optimized to 19,000, way bigger than all my competitors. So that's kind of how you use this tool to, at the end of the day, make sure you have the best listing, optimized listing versus your competitors with the right seed keywords in the right place. Now, once you've done that, and in theory you've done it properly, and you not just like how I've done it right now, you can actually just go over here, right at the top. I think it's over here, and you can actually export it as a CSV, or there's a view right now. I think maybe my screen is too small, but you can actually oh, it's right here. You can actually upload it directly to your listing on Amazon. So you don't even have to copy this into a CSV or download the CSV. You could just upload it direct to your account if you're connected. So that in a nutshell is the concept of listing optimization. Making sure that you put your keywords in the right place, that you've looked at your backend search terms and you've compared it to your competitors, making sure you understand what they're focusing on and how to beat them. That's how you do the listing optimization. Now, what I want to show you right now is the engine that drives the keywords and how you actually discover what are the right keywords for your listing.
I love it.
All right, so this is Keywords on Fire. I've just run a session here, but ultimately, what this does when you type in a keyword, I actually want to just show it to you for a second. Let me just, if we have the time, I'm just going to jump over here and just show you how we actually create the keyword list, right? So if I go add by product phrases right here, I can type in rustic corner shelf. Let's say that's my main buy keyword, and you can do multiple. You can do rustic corner shelf, you can do bookcase, you can add a few just so that you're really getting a good seed. And then you hit search, and what it's doing is for those keywords that you've entered, they are bringing back the top 25 best ranked organic listings for that phrase, right? So what I can do here is I can just go select all. I can take all 25. I can deselect some if I want, but basically looking through that list and grabbing as many seasoned relevant listings as you can to put into the analysis. And when I say seasoned relevant, obviously they have to be similar to your product, but also, ones that have high ratings. For example, like this one with 9 ratings, I'll probably take out. It's it's not indexed enough. This one definitely I'd keep. It's got 2,300 ratings, right? So I'd basically do that, add the products, and then I would just name it and I'd run the analysis. And when I run the analysis, what it's doing is it's doing a reverse lookup on all of those 25 seasoned organic listings and getting all the keywords they're indexed for. But then it's deduping that with a keyword generator tool that we have, plus brand analytics and a whole bunch of other APIs that we have to ensure that not only are you getting the best keywords from the top listings, but you're also deduping that with what people are actually typing into Amazon right now. What are the main keywords that are indexing for right now, currently in this month, in this day, so that you get one list of the best keywords that you could potentially have for your listing. So it's really powerful in that sense of when sellers use this and they look at the keywords, that especially in different marketplaces, they're like, wow, we're finding keywords that none of the other listings are even attempting to get, and have some decent search volume as well. So
it's a great way to come up with keywords for PPC too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one view that I always do in here, which is kind of finding those most best opportunity keywords with that I know I'm going to convert for over my competitors, and then save that out as a list that I can take out and then put a PPC campaign to that so that it matches your listing and drive sales. So it's a really, really strong way. So so this is the view, right? So I've jumped in here. You can see all the keywords that are down here. We give it a specific score. This is basically the most good demand, but also ones that you can win on competition that are relevant for your brand. And then we have a whole bunch of other data points like dollars from keywords. So we've actually reverse engineered based on search volume and other factors that we have. What are the actual potential dollars that you can get from that keyword that are owned by the top 25 competitors? So it's a really interesting way to see, hey, what's the potential value of that keyword? Search volume, how many of those competitors out of the top 24 are actually ranking for that keyword? This is a very important view. ZG launch is based on launch number that you need to get to page 1. Units, ratings, price, the percentage of that keyword in the top 25's competitors' titles.
Wow, that's a great metric right there.
Yeah.
That's a great metric, because if it's in the title, it's important. And sometimes we don't know, we get this big, long list of keywords, and I love that metric.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So for example, this is like 28%. It's only 28%, and these guys are 72.
And I love you can hover over it and it gives you, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I gotta go play, man. I gotta go play.
and then we give you average PPC bid. That's also really an interesting metric to look at when you're deciding on a seed keyword, right? For example, do I choose corner shelving or corner shelf? It's not a vast difference at the moment, but corner shelf is definitely more expensive. It's 79 cents versus 69 cents, right? So that can help you in understanding, hey, what are the main keywords that I want to seed for that are potentially less expensive?
And hey, are those keywords clickable so it brings up the search page on Amazon?
No, but these are here. You can click on any of them.
So like, for example, if you were trying to decide on which one had better opportunity, like we were talking about earlier, we see, okay, they're both in the title. This one's a little bit cheaper, you know, in terms of cost per click, which cost per click changes all the time, right? But either way, you know, this one's a little bit cheaper. Okay, let me go look at the page and see as well. So love that. Sorry, please continue.
No, absolutely. And then if you want to look at like click share for, again, you know, the biggest brands on that page and see if you can compete with them, you know, it's interesting to know what of the top three, how much click share do they have over that page. So this is 30%, 34%, how much actually dollars they own of the top three. So this is kind of interesting as well when you're choosing your seed keyword, which is like, hey, do the top three own like 80% of the click share? Will I be able to even compete with them? Or do they own less and it's a little bit more distributed? So that's a little bit more advanced that you can kind of look at that. And then we get into even at a more advanced level, which is this view over here, which is all of these top 24 competitors and you know listed over here. And you can click on these and open up these listings. And here's where they rank for every single one of those keywords up to position 250, right? And red means they're well ranked, which is like it's harder to compete on. Green means it's easier to compete on, and if it's a dot, they rank outside of position 250, right? So this is a really interesting way when you look across here, and you can sort these. You can go, hey, this is my top competitor. What keywords does he rank for? So there's a lot you can do here when you're starting to look at those longer tail keywords, where you could jump in and go, hey, I want to own corner bookshelf, right? Let's take a corner shelves for living room, right? I think I can own that. It's got decent search volume. It's over 3,000. There's only 6 competitors that really rank in the top 25. And then when I look over here, you know, I see I don't see that many of the competitors really ranking. There's maybe 1 or 2 that are in the top 10, and there's a lot of space on here. So maybe that's one that I should target as my main keyword, where I think it's not necessarily the biggest volume driver, but these are one of the seed keywords that I could own that my competitors aren't even thinking about, that I can actually target, put in my listing, and then run some PPC to that. I'm just making that up as an example by looking at that, right? So those are the kind of things that you can really start to look at within this tool set and then saving those views. So a lot of detail.
And even for PPC as well, you know, especially, and I know we're gonna get into this at Seller Meetup on October 15th. These are the things that we want to talk about for seasonal marketing. We want to be like, okay, so this is the one that I'm going to take and I'm going to do my holiday campaigns after. And this is the traffic I think my competitors are going to be targeting, but that I can get after. This is such a great view. And you know, the strategies that we use to pick for our PPC campaigns, for our listing optimizations, all of that. I think this is really great. It's making me mad, John, because I have so many keyword tools already that I use, and now I have to add this one.
Well, I mean, the good thing about this is I think because the way it's created, you know, there's many views that you can look at depending on what you're trying to solve for. But from an efficiency perspective, because it's kind of like all keywords in one that we know are the best, you can, when I optimize a listing, I usually just take, you know, I just save a view of like anything with a ZG score of over 60. And those I know are the main keywords that I need to own, because I kind of trust the score, and that might take you some time to really understand. But I just take that and I put it into my listing, and I know if I can optimize for that, I'm going to win over my competitors. One other cool thing I want to show you is that this is a really cool view. If I click in here, up here. So what's cool about this one here is every single one of these 24 competitors, right? I can actually just click on what are they ranked for or not ranked for, and it will show you in the top 25 positions. So if there's a competitor that I know I really compete against, right? Say it's this guy, right? I'm like, okay, give me all the keywords that he's not ranked for. if I just click on that, it's going to filter all the data. It's going to give me, there's 237 keywords that he's not ranked for, but I can go in the top 25 positions, but I can actually start to go, okay, these are the ones that I want to pick out that I know my top competitor, and I can add more. I can add my top 5 again, right? I can go, he's not ranked for these either. You can see it's going to come down 228. So I can add a few of my top key competitors and then use the not ranked filter version to pick out all the keywords we know they're not ranked for, and I can go after these and actually target them. So now I know I should be going after corner shelves for living room, right? These guys aren't ranking for it, so let me grab that. Let me make sure I'm seeded in my listing, and then go after that. So definitely a lot of ways you can use this data to kind of get at the right keywords that you can rank for that your competitors don't, right?
Yeah, I like that. And then in terms of pulling competitors, Jeff wants to know if will it pull variations data as well?
These are all based on variations, because it's keyword specific, and it's what the variation ranks for. So we're basing it all on variations, right? So
when we type in corner shelf, it's going to pull all variations of that product that will do that.
It's going to pull the best variation that's ranked for on that page, right? So if you have because it's based on that keyword and what variation shows for that, and obviously the keywords that are ranked to that. Obviously, it pulls in parents as well, but it's really based on all those variations.
Those child variations that are ranked for that. Yeah. Definitely.
And then what's really interesting with this. So anyway, that's how I would then go in and use these different filters to save different views. And as you save them, you can name them. So I can just go, hey, give me. Let me just save this as a filtered view. I can go and put a save in, and it will stack them under that listing, so that when I go to the listing optimization, I can add the first bunch of keywords, like my main keywords, and I can optimize. Then I can add my competitive keywords. I can add that, etc., until I have the best listing that I know can beat my competitors. And I can use some of those views to what you said earlier. I can use some of those views that I've saved for some like specific PPC campaigns where I really want to drive conversion, or I want to own some of these, some of these metrics. So,
well, even in your listing optimizer, you have that export function. So right from there, when I'm done optimizing my listing, I can export that list of keywords and use it for my manual campaigns. So that's awesome. Because you do want to, when you are optimizing a listing, you do want to drive some traffic to your most relevant keywords to really get them indexed for that and get them moving. So it's a great way to go right from one to another.
Yeah, and if we have, so that's kind of what I wanted to cover. If we have 1 second, another interesting way that you can use keywords on fire. We have a niche finder, which is an amazingly powerful tool for product research. But just how I actually found this rustic corner bookshelf, I just ran a keywords on fire session on the generic keyword shelf, right? I just put shelf in. And what it's doing at that level, because it's not like a very specific, it's bringing in all the different listings that kind of rank for shelf, like what kind of products can actually rank for shelf. And then I've just gone in and I've just filtered by saying, hey, just give me all the search volume of over 1,000, right? Because it's US, you want to have some demand. So I just said, give me search volume over 1,000, and then I said, give me the ratings of less than 1,000, equal to 1,000.
So that means less than 1,000 reviews. Exactly. The listings that have less than 1,000 reviews.
Right, exactly. So now I've multiple filtered this. So it's saying to me, hey, give me all the keywords that have over 1,000 search volume, but are less than an average 1,000 reviews, which means in a nutshell, I'm getting some keywords that have good demand, but less competition for this category, right? And so that's what and I can add more. I can add like, give me the price of, something that they have to be over
greater than $30, right? Yeah. So that you don't want.
Now I've added that. You can see it's filtered down to 31 keywords, and that's how I found this, because I just looked down and I actually I said, hey, give me the lowest ratings first, so I know like these are the lowest ratings: PlayStation, wall mount, etc. But right up here was corner bookcase, which has like 282 average ratings, but it's got good search volume, right? 14,000. So that's a pretty interesting category. And then I looked down and I saw rustic bookcase. It's still got good search volume and relatively low ratings, and I just put those two together. I was like, okay, rustic corner bookcase, and that's how I came up with a conceptual product niche that might be a good one for Amazon. So there's a lot of ways you can use Keywords on Fire, not only for your listing optimization for PPC, but it's really powerful in helping you to find even potentially, longer tail keywords or actually product research ideas, right? You could go in here and just put camping or garden or whatever and just filter it down.
Yeah.
Find your like pocket niches, and you'll find really cool ideas that you can actually launch on Amazon. So that's just a little trick of how you can also use this tool.
Awesome. Yes. So Jeffrey also wants to know, do you have agency pricing?
Yes, we do. And we actually have different views for agencies, and we have a different kind of admin panel, and we also have different reports, not too much to be revealed on yet, but we have different reports that are very good for agencies that are client facing, yeah, Jeff, if you like what you see, connect with me, and we can talk about it for sure.
Definitely. Well, the thing is, I've had access to Guru for a long time, and I've been playing with your tool for a long time, and I'm so glad we did this tool review, because now I'm going to get even more into the tool and use it more often. But you guys have always been just such great partners. You've been just awesome at, providing content to the community. I can't wait, now that I know that we're both nerds about this stuff, I can't wait for us to take over this listing optimization panel at Seller Meetup coming up. And, I think everybody has really, really enjoyed the demo today. I've enjoyed it. I think there's so many things that we can use here. Some of my favorites, just to recap, I love that you pulled the search terms from the competitors. I love that the front end of your Chrome extension, which plays on the front end of Amazon when people are searching right through it, also includes brand analytics data. So that's, it's important because it's Amazon's own data. And a lot of times with search volume and stuff like that, we have to guess. So having that data overlaid with other existing data is just so convenient, and I love it. And it's going to make me cheat and not want to use brand analytics as much. Thank you, John. And then I really liked how your listing optimizer tool not only allowed me to look at different competitors at different times, but it showed broad matches, exact matches, and it also showed what's in the title, what's not. And so now I can compare my listing with other listings and see, okay, what am I missing? So when I'm optimizing a listing or writing a listing for someone else on an agency side, I can see, okay, I've finished this, what am I missing, right? I do that a little bit manually right now, but yeah, I like that a lot. It's very, very cool. And then I love Keywords on Fire. What a great tool! So many cool filters, and that you guys also connect with Amazon so that they can just click the publish button and update their listing right then and there. I would warn you guys, not John, of course, but everyone who's watching. Just note that if you have an optimized listing from the very beginning, that's the best. And be careful about consistently and continually making updates to your listing, because that can actually cause you to lose rankings over time versus staying there. Sometimes you can force a full reindex on your listing by updating things like the title. It tells the search engine to reindex your page. So we're not saying don't optimize your listing. We're saying absolutely have an optimized listing from the start and make those changes, but just be careful about being in there every day and making changes, because that can sometimes have bad effects on your overall optimization and your ranking. So I love it. I think it's such a great tool. It's so cool. We love ZonGuru. You guys are so great. So you guys, if you want to check out ZonGuru, John, tell them how they can reach you guys.
Yeah, just zonguru.com. You can check us out right there. Customer support is awesome. We definitely have the highest rating in the industry. We have a lot of sellers and very passionate sellers on that team. So, if you just go to zonguru.com, hit the support button, ask any questions you want, they'll get back to you with a lot of detail. Check out our blog if you want to check that out. We have a lot of educational material on there. We have a few challenges that you can take, listing optimization challenges on there. You can check out our Instagram handle at ZonGuru. It's basically a feed dedicated to product ideas and ways to differentiate products and inspiration. So it's not just a a channel for us to talk about ourselves. We're trying to help you on that channel too. So, those are a few things. Just check it out. And one last comment: when you are in Keywords on Fire, by default, that competitor view is switched off. There's a settings there. You can just click the settings and you can add, different views that you want in there. So just make sure if you're not seeing all the competitors and you want to actually see their ranking, just go into the settings and add that into your view. Check it out, or just ask support. They'll help you. And there's a few videos on there that you can watch as well. So that's it. Yes, of course. I'm super looking forward to being in Austin in a month or so, or a little less than a month now. Seller meetup. Great people there. It's going to be a great time. And, Amy, I know you're going to bring a lot of your energy to it. I think Emma's going to have a great time. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to be good to travel up to Austin again. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I agree. Well, thank you, John, so much for being here today. And we're going to have to do another. You have so many tools. We're going to have to book another one so that we can get into some other side of ZonGuru. I know we're going to show one of your new things that you guys are doing at Seller Meetup, which is going to be so cool as well. But yeah, we're going to have to do another cool tool review. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in. We've been doing these cool tool reviews and partner reviews every Tuesday. You guys can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's really, really awesome. And people have been giving us really, really great feedback. So let us know what you want to know. What tools do you need? What are the things that you're trying to get after in your business? And I will go find those people for you. I will do a review with them and we'll make it happen. So, and hopefully we'll see you guys at Seller Meetup, October 15th in Austin, Texas. Go get signed up. You can use my name or John's name to save 10% on your ticket. And, just get out there. It'll be fun. Thank you, John. This has been great. And we'll see you guys in Seller Roundtable in 20 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.